Hey everyone, and welcome to another Builders and Visionaries podcast. My name is Kelly Massid, and this is where we talk about what gets built and who makes it. So today's guest is Jannik Wiedenhaupt, CPO and co-founder of SUPPLYCO, the AI-powered sales intelligence platform built specifically for industrial manufacturers. Jannik's path from studying computer science at Columbia to building out McKinsey's Lilly chatbot that was used by over 40,000 people inside the firm gave him a front row seat to what large language models could actually do at an enterprise scale. But rather than stay in consulting, he left to co-found SUPPLYCO with Claudia Rashu, tackling what manufacturers told them was their single biggest growth bottleneck, finding qualified leads. They launched in March 2025, and SUPPLYCO's agents now help sales teams at companies like Kawasaki, Grove, and Anka identify and pre-qualify factory leads in minutes, replacing the endless trade show grind and manual prospecting that has defined an industrial sales for decades. Now, that was a mouthful, Jannik. Thank you for being here.
Hey,
Did I miss anything, or does that bring
no,
you
no, that was great. That was great. Thank you,
to?
Kelly.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Well, I appreciate you being here. SUPPLYCO launched just over a year ago, and you're already working with some of the largest companies in machine tooling and automation. What does the platform look like today versus like when you first shipped it? And what's the next major capability that your team's focused on building?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I mean we've been very lucky to be able to partner with some of the larger companies in the industry from the start. We always wanted to target those as well as to like see the most complicated use cases and then also help the other ends of the market once we've tackled the complicated ones. So how the platform looks different, I mean, we started with just qualifying leads basically on a and like gathering data on a one-on-one basis. So we'd get Excel files of like a trade show and things like that, and just do research on them effectively. And it was a lot more glam on the surface than it might have always been in the background. Um, but now the what we do is we have like hundreds to thousands of agents doing that in the background at all times. We've integrated a lot of different data sources. So
Yeah,
in the beginning, while we were a little bit limited, some things might not have always been super accurate. We've invested a lot in that. And then we've also increased, and that includes, for example, government contracts, filings, especially now with a lot of things happening in aerospace. We see a lot of activity there that our customers really like. And then lastly, we've just invested so much time also in connecting manufacturers and distributors.
yeah,
So that was really a big push because we realized this is like a super, there's a big industry. A lot of people know each other. A lot of people work together.
yeah.
But usually there's like kind of this conflicting incentives. And we wanted to help facilitate, like ease that.
And I can imagine that you said you have increased your investment. I bet the tokens are not cheap either.
Yeah, we have quite hefty token bills. Those are I don't love looking at those, but you know, there's a part of the deal.
Right, right. The necessary evil, so they say, right?
Exactly, exactly.
So
But yeah,
Yannick,
I mean, both on just using them, like we use so many AI tools ourselves, as
right.
well as on the product side. Yeah, like with every new customer, we're just spending so many more millions of tokens. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, so that kind of leads me to my next question. I mean, you went from building an internal AI chatbot at McKinsey to kind of building an AI sales agent for manufacturers. I'm curious, with your background in data science and LLMs, like what's the most important shift that you see in how AI is being applied to B2B industrial sales? And where do you think most companies are still potentially getting it wrong?
Yeah. So I had two things that I specifically took away from my time at McKinsey.
Yeah.
Um, slash, well, three things actually. Two from McKinsey and one just in general, how I think it should, like AI should work in the future.
Yeah.
The first one was there's a lot of there's a lot of specialized knowledge in any organization and also in the industry, but it's in so many different heads, and people come up with their own ways of doing things. And I found that out through just interviewing hundreds of people while working for different companies, because it was always like, hey, I am building this system. Like, what do I need to tell it, right? Like, what
Yeah.
is it supposed to do for you? You've been doing this job for such a long time.
Yeah.
And so I really believe in, for AI to be successful, you need to consolidate a lot of information. So we've built our product from the beginning to really not leave it up to every individual person to get value out of it, but like to make it a group effort. That was one thing. The
Yeah.
second thing was that prompting is really hard, and like extracting that knowledge, and kind of those go hand in hand. Like it's
Yeah.
really important to make sure to extract that knowledge from people. Like when we built the chatbot, we'd ask um, hundreds of consultants all the time to like rate answers, right? Because we were still developing it, and that's really hard to do. That's a lot of time investment. It's very boring, honestly, on the other person's end, right? Because you're like, you type in a question, you look at the answers, and then you have to tell, well, I didn't like that part, I didn't like that part. And obviously there are companies that are getting paid billions of dollars to do this type of data labeling and like looking into that.
Right.
That was the second one, extracting the knowledge. And the third one then was, I truly believe like AI should run in the background without me really having to think about it, especially when I don't want to deal with it. Like there's a bunch of things, and I'm sure you know do it too, where like you are just in some AI tool all day and you have like these ad hoc questions. But a lot of work you also just want to like set and forget.
Yeah.
And that's what we built our tool for. Like you describe what you want to achieve once, and then it just happens all the time because it's something you do continuously. It's something that you um, it's something that you don't want to think, because honestly the big part about it is just having to think about it. It's not even the doing part. It's just in sales especially, and in research, it's like you have the fact that I have to log in somewhere all the time to figure something out. That's really the annoying part.
Yeah. No, automating workflows is definitely where we're moving to. You're seeing a lot of people that are, you know, like you said, having to log into 18 different tools, whereas having one dedicated portal that you can log into and get the information that you need immediately is really going to absolutely change the way that people work going forward. I
Yeah,
could, I
yeah.
couldn't agree more. All right, last question. Um, so you've talked about manufacturers really spending millions on trade shows and crisscrossing the country, only to
Yeah.
realize that many of those trips were wasted. Uh, Beyond lead generation, where else does the industrial sales process break down? And what do you think is the most practical thing a sales leader at a mid-sized manufacturer could do tomorrow to start closing that gap?
Good question. I think honestly, I see a lot of times that it's worth starting at the basics.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's so easy to jump to tools, ours included, to be honest.
yeah,
Um, Instead of really thinking, okay, like what do I offer? The kind of the basic, what do I offer? Who should I sell this to? Right? It's like the basics of supply and demand, and
yeah,
having a value proposition. And I think being clear on that, which isn't always easy, especially if you've sold machines that kind of had a brand or something like that, or sold equipment for years or decades, much longer. You may have done this exercise 6, 7 years ago, but you've never kind of really revisited it. But the
yeah,
world has changed since then.
yeah,
So doing that, and I always see that value doing that with our customers in the beginning, um, almost like a consulting step in the beginning is
sure.
so impactful already. Like if we didn't have our software, that would already deliver a lot of value. Um, and so I think thinking about that, and then thinking about like what do I spend a lot of my time on? You just said the automating part, and I think then figuring out like what is blocking my team from doing the more important work that they
Yeah,
all say I don't have time for, right? Like I can't talk to more customers, I can't also be at that event, or I can't also talk to this partner because I'm already drowning in just the day-to-day um, chores,
yeah,
and figuring out what you can do there, and then looking for solutions. I don't think it's good to look for tools first. I think it's really just um, what holds me back, and then find an easy solution, and then you can like grow from there.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I mean, it's shocking how many people I talk to that haven't even put together an ICP yet. I mean, something as
Yeah,
basic as an ICP to understand who you're selling to and why you're selling it to them, and kind of getting inside their mind in regard to the psychographics of your prospect. So that's a great
yeah,
answer. So yeah. Um,
yeah.
no, I appreciate you coming on. I think that that was extremely helpful, and I hope that a lot of people get some value out of watching this and learning from you, Yannick. Um, you just gotta run down from MBB, and it was for free on the internet. So congratulations to everybody that's watching this. Where can people find you, Yannick?
Yeah, I mean, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
I'm personally very active there. Um, and you can shoot me a connection request. I'm happily accept it.
yeah,
And then also obviously on our website, www.supplyco.ai.
yeah.
If you want to check out what we're building, I'm super happy to also talk about that.
Well, fantastic. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Yannick.
Perfect. Thanks so much for having me, Callie.